When you look back at the worst habits you have as a trader right now, moving stops, taking profit too early, sizing up randomly, getting cocky, ignoring your plan, most of them didn't start with a loss. They started with a win. A win that shouldn't have happened. It's 2:14 a.m. and you're on your phone, half awake, watching a crypto perpetual candle crawl like a dying insect. You're not even supposed to be trading. You promised yourself you'd stop checking charts in bed. But you see it, a tiny break of structure, the kind you normally need confirmation for. You hit buy anyway. No checklist, no size rule, no stop placement you've backtested. Just a vibe and a thumb. And then it happens. The candle spikes. Liquidations pop and your P&L goes green so fast it feels like a slot machine paying out coins. You take the win. You smile. You roll over. And your brain quietly files that moment under one word: correct. In this video, I'm going to show you why winning trades create your worst habits, how your brain accidentally turns luck into a strategy, and the simple framework that separates "I got paid" from "I traded well." And stay with me to the end, because there's one habit that looks like discipline. Most traders brag about it, but it's actually the most dangerous habit a winning trade can teach you. Most traders lose money. Trading is difficult. This is education, not financial advice. Past patterns don't guarantee future results. Risk management is survival. Now here's the pattern you don't see while you're living it. Your brain doesn't learn trading the way you think it does. You think you learn by logic. I did X, then Y happened. So that means X is a good decision. But your brain learns by reinforcement. What did I do right before I got rewarded? That's not trading psychology. That's animal psychology. That's how a dog learns to sit. That's how a kid learns which button makes the toy light up. That's how a casino builds addicts. And markets are the perfect casino because they pay you randomly. You can do the wrong thing and get rewarded. You can do the right thing and get punished. So if your brain is trying to protect you, it will chase the reward, not the truth. That means a lucky win can train you harder than 10 careful losses. Because when you lose, you blame the market. When you win, you trust yourself. That's outcome bias, judging the quality of a decision by the result instead of the process. And the market loves outcome bias because it turns a random payout into a belief system. Here's what happens next. You don't just remember the win, you remember the feeling of the win. The relief, the power, the I'm back moment, the sudden respect you feel for yourself. Your nervous system records that emotional spike like it's a survival lesson. Dopamine isn't just pleasure. It's a teaching signal. It tags the behavior that happened right before the reward and says, repeat that. So the next time you're in bed at 2:14 a.m., your brain doesn't say, we violated the plan. It says, this is the move that pays. And that's how a single win becomes a rule, not a written rule, a body rule. You'll feel it in your hands. You'll feel it when you hesitate to follow your real plan because it's boring. You'll feel it when you just take one outside your system because last time it worked. You'll feel it when you start hunting the same emotional hit instead of the same statistical edge. And here's where it gets worse. Winning trades don't just build one bad habit. They build a whole identity. You start to believe you're a certain kind of trader because of a few wins in a certain environment. You're the guy who nails breakouts. You're the one who can feel reversals. You're the sniper. And the moment you build that identity, you begin defending it. You start selecting trades that validate the identity. You start ignoring information that threatens it. You start trading to prove something, not to execute something. That's why you'll see a trader get paid for fading a strong trend once, and then spend the next 3 months fighting every trend like it's personal. Or a trader hits one massive runner because they refuse to take profit, and suddenly they can't take profit on anything, turning winners into scratch because they're now a hold for the move trader. The market didn't teach them skill, it taught them a story. Now let me show you the cost in a way you'll recognize instantly. A trader has 2 back-to-back wins. Both wins are dirty. First win, they move their stop farther away when price comes close. It should have stopped them out. Instead it bounces and goes to target. Second win, they add to a loser because it's too extended to keep dropping. It drops a bit more, then rips, and they close green. 2 wins. And now they've learned 2 habits. Stops are flexible when you know you're right. Averaging can be smart if you have conviction. So on day 3, the market gives them a normal day. No miracle bounce, no liquidity sweep, no sudden reversal. Just steady pressure. They move the stop. It hits anyway. Bigger loss. They average. It keeps dropping, bigger drawdown. Now they're emotional, so they size up to make it back. Now they're tilted, so they take random entries. By the end of the day, they're not just down money, they're down confidence. And that's the most brutal part. The winning trades that train the bad habits feel like proof that you're capable, right before they turn into the reason you can't stay consistent. This is why some traders say, I only lose after I've been winning. It's not a curse, it's conditioning. If you've ever listened to veteran traders tell their origin story, it's almost never, I lost my first trade and got scared. It's usually, I won early, and it made me dangerous. One guy tells it like this. His first serious trade worked so well, he thought he'd found a cheat code. He started telling friends, started increasing size, started believing the market was rewarding his intelligence. Then a perfectly normal losing streak arrived, the kind every edge experiences over a series, and he couldn't emotionally tolerate it. He tried to force the next win, broke every rule, and gave back more than he made. His takeaway wasn't, markets are unfair. His takeaway was, my early win trained my ego, not my process. That's the real threat. A win can build entitlement. It can make you feel like you're due. And when you feel due, you stop managing risk like a professional and start collecting money like the market owes you. So how do you break it? You don't break it by trying harder. You don't break it by promising yourself you'll be disciplined. You break it by changing what your brain gets rewarded for. Because right now, your brain is getting rewarded for P&L. And P&L is the noisiest, most random feedback signal you can possibly use to build skill. If you want better habits, you need a better scoreboard. Here's the framework. It's 4 moves. And if you actually run it, your worst habits will start dying. Not because you fought them, but because you stopped feeding them. First, separate paid from good. Every trade gets 2 grades. Grade A, did it make money? Grade B, was it executed correctly? You can have a trade that's green and executed like garbage. You can have a trade that's red and executed like a professional. Your job is to treat those as different things, because if you don't, you will reinforce garbage. Here's a simple rule. If a trade breaks a rule, it cannot be celebrated, not even if it's green, especially if it's green. A rule-broken winner is not a win, it's a bribe. Write that somewhere you will see it, because the market's most dangerous gift is paying you for your worst version. Second, build a process payout. If you only feel rewarded when you make money, you will chase money. So you need a secondary payout that's fully under your control. What does that look like? It looks like a checklist score. Before you enter, you rate your setup, 0 to 5. After you exit, you rate your execution, 0 to 5. And you set 1 weekly goal. Not make money, not avoid losing. A process goal, average an 8 out of 10 execution score this week. Now your brain has something stable to chase, and the weird part, when you start chasing process, the P&L usually improves as a side effect, because you're no longer emotionally negotiating with every tick. You're playing your edge across a series, like a casino plays its games. Third, add a time delay between impulse and action. Winning trades train your worst habits because they speed you up. They convince you that fast equals smart. So you need 1 mechanical speed bump. Here's Marcus's rule. Marcus is a data-driven trader who treats his behavior like a system, not a personality. He doesn't trust his feelings. Even when they feel brilliant, he uses a 20-second lockout. Any trade that is not on his planned watch list must survive 20 seconds of delay before he can place it. Not 20 minutes. Not a meditation retreat. 20 seconds. During those 20 seconds, he asks 3 questions. Where is my invalidation level? What is my planned exit if it goes in my favour? If this loses, will I still respect this decision tonight? If he can't answer all 3 clearly, he cannot take the trade. That delay breaks the conditioning loop. It pulls you out of the dopamine chase and back into structure. Fourth, install a size governor that does not care how you feel. The most common bad habit from a win is sizing up too fast. Not because the trader has new evidence, because the trader has new confidence, and confidence is not a risk metric. So you create a size rule that only responds to data. Example, you can increase size only after 20 trades, where your execution score averages above 8 out of 10, and your maximum drawdown stays within your plan. Not after a hot streak, not after a big green day, not because you feel locked in. Your size is earned through consistency, not emotion. Now remember the loop I promised. The habit that looks like discipline but is actually dangerous. It's the habit of protecting the win. A trader gets green and immediately starts playing defense. Move stop to break even. Take partials early. Close because a win is a win. They think they're being responsible, but what they're actually doing is reinforcing fear. They're training their brain that profit is fragile and must be rescued. And that habit destroys expectancy because it cuts the right tail off your distribution. You keep the small wins, you still take the full losses, and you slowly starve your system. So here's the replacement habit. Protect the process, not the profit. If your plan says the stop stays there, it stays there. If your plan says the trade needs room, it gets room. If your plan says you scale at a level, you scale at the level. The discipline isn't don't lose the win. The discipline is don't change the rules because you're up. Because when you're up, you're most vulnerable to teaching yourself the wrong lesson. One extra tool that makes this stick. Screenshot every trade and label it. In big letters, rule followed or rule broken. Your journal becomes visual proof of what you're reinforcing. Now let's go back to the opening. It's 2:14 a.m, you're on your phone, you see the candle, you feel the itch. But now, the itch hits a wall, you have the 20-second lockout. You ask the 3 questions. You can't answer them cleanly because this isn't a real setup. So you don't take it, and you don't feel like you missed money. You feel like you protected your identity as a professional. The next day, you take your planned setup. It loses, but your execution score is high. You log it. You don't spiral. Then you take the next one. It wins, and you don't celebrate the money. You celebrate the fact that you did the same thing you said you would do. That's the shift. Winning trades stop creating your worst habits when you stop letting random outcomes train you. The market will always be capable of bribing you. Your job is to become the kind of trader that can look at a rule-broken green trade and say calmly, that wasn't skill, that was a trap. If you want, in the next video I'll show you how to rebuild confidence after a drawdown without needing a big win to feel okay. Because that's the other half of this problem. Until then, keep it simple. Get paid if the market pays you, but only let your brain learn from what you control.